Hello friends! Welcome back to my channel where we make pretty costumes and things. We are on the last video of making Emily the Corpse Bride. In this video we are going to finish her skirt, make the arm, we have gloves to make, we have a crown with a veil, I have to make her bouquet. Duh. I went shopping. So let's talk a little bit on what I plan to use for these items and then what I would like to accomplish today. I will be using Model Magic for the arm. I will also be using this felt for the base of the bones, and I'll explain that once I get to it. I'm gonna be making some gloves, some white gloves for her. So we're gonna use the same fabrics that we already used. I also wanna make more of those spirals to go up the skirt. So what I kind of need to do is make my gloves and then figure out, okay, how much of this lace do I need? Where do I need to cut it? And then I will cut out the spirals from whatever I don't use. So that's a thing, and I need to paint those. I also need to paint some trim for the gloves so that they are all cohesive. I purchased some flowers, or her headpiece and her bouquet, sorry. So I've got these beautiful blue that I think will match perfectly, and they kind of look a little like watercolory. And then I also got gray and black. So we're gonna use that for the bouquet. And then I got a headband so that I could like make the veil on this headband. So I'll like do the veil bits and then we'll glue the flowers on top. So this will be a nice little like base for the headband or the veil. And then I got black dye because I need to dye one of my two gloves black. So that's where we're at. Let's talk about what I'd like to do specifically today. I want to start off with downstairs. We're going to dye this. We're going to do this first because I think it's going to need 2 cycles. So we're going to do 1 cycle of dyeing. It's going to be kind of wasteful. Rinse it, wash it, do all that jazz, and then do a 2nd cycle of dyeing and possibly a 3rd cycle of dyeing if we need to. I'm certain that this is enough. It's more about just figuring it out. Then I need to come back up here and actually sculpt the arm. If you remember when I did the ribs, it says that it needs 72 hours to dry. We're still only probably going to give it 2 days to dry because I kind of need to like do whatever kind of painting or wash I'm gonna do on it to make it look more bone-like and sew it onto the glove so that I can finish this. That'll be the very last day of this week. And then I need to pattern the gloves so that I can figure out how much lace I need. Once I've patterned the gloves, I actually want to make the gloves. I don't think they're gonna take me long at all. They'll take me under an hour. And then I can paint spirals, let those dry, and then get them attached to the skirt. Let's recap what I want to get done today. I want to dye my blue glove black, sculpt the arm pieces, make the white gloves, paint the blue spirals, and attach them. That sounds like a lot, but honestly, I have until about 9 p.m. tonight because I have to go pick Toby up from the airport. So I really ideally can work for about 12 hours today. And if I can get all of that done, that will put me in a good place for the rest of the week. So let's just go downstairs and dye a glove. Obviously it needs to dry, but this is about 1/3 of the bottle of black dye with 1 pot of water, like hot boiling water, for about 30 minutes. This is the best I've ever seen dye take to something, like especially dark dye. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this dry. We're gonna go upstairs and work on some other pieces. And then once it's dry, we can decide if this is what we're gonna do. Okay, so I have my glove. I put a little bit of an elastic in here and then one for my middle finger so I can move, but it will all stay in place. Here's the other. It doesn't fit over my watch that well, but this one also has to fit over bones, so I figured it would make sense to have it just a tiny bit looser. Like it's like just slightly looser so that there's not a ton of rubbing, but for the most part, we got some gloves. Okay, so here are my arm pieces. I need to now carefully move them over to the corner there where they will dry for the next, I don't know, until Thursday. It's Tuesday. And then I can glue them down onto this and trim around it and stitch it onto my glove. But like, they're not perfect. We're not trying to be like super anatomical or anything. I am just trying to make something that will read as a skeleton arm. Here we are. All right. It also looks like my dye job worked on just one dye bath, which is fabulous. So here is my now black glove. I did do a test of trying it on and I have a small issue. They don't make it all the way to my armpit. They only make it to like right here. So it's not gonna be the most seamless costume, but that's okay. If I really want to, I can always redo this for a convention, but for photos, I think we're gonna be at a good place. Now I just have to attach all of these to the skirt, and that's all of the things I wanted to get done today. Okay, so I have pinned the little swirly bits to the top of the other swirly bits so that they're a lot longer. This should help with like making them look a little bit more prominent and actually there. I'm going to hand stitch those downstairs, cuddled on the couch with Eva, who is walking back and forth, pacing up and down. She's like, what is going on? And that means once those are attached, I can just rhinestone this skirt. I do want to press this black trim, keeps rolling in on itself. So I think I'm gonna give it a good press before I rhinestone, and that should help it lay flat, and then I can put rhinestones on it. That means that today we sculpted the arm, dyed the glove, made the white gloves, and got these all like made up. That's really what I wanted to get done today. Okay, so I am feeling really good, really on track with this costume. I'm really excited. I'm loving it so far. Yeah, I'm feeling really good. So I will see you back here tomorrow, hopefully with all of my swirls stitched down so we can finish the skirt and get some other stuff done. I'll see you then. Hi friends. So today is like the most perfect fall spooky day ever. Like, oh my gosh, there are so many leaves on the ground, there's cloud coverage, the weather finally broke. It's just a beautiful day, and I feel very confident with where I'm at in like the process of working on Emily. So today's gonna be kind of a major like rhinestoning embellishment day. So the first thing I wanna do is this black trim right here. I need to press the bottom of it. Basically, the way it's made, it just gets crumpled up. Also the way it was stored too. Like, it just got crumpled up. So we're gonna press it. I see a lot of potential for rhinestones, and this is good and bad. This is great because sparkles. This is bad because time. But I definitely know for this trim right here, I'm gonna use black non-hot fix rhinestones. So there's no glue on the back, so I can use gem tack, which means I will fly through it. For the blue spirals, I do plan to use my hot fix rhinestones. I'm gonna hot fix a couple of, like one of them, and time to see how fast it goes. And if it is going way too slow, I'm going to maybe break my rule of mixing glues, and I might use gem tack on a hot fix glue, on a hot fix rhinestone. We will see. Then once that sparkle is added, I have a ton of AB rhinestones that I just kind of want to put all over the what I'm calling the like empty space of this area. Mainly the bottom. I feel like that's where the most glitter is gonna like get picked up. So we'll play with that and discover that. And then once all of that is done, I have to sew in pearls like I did on the bodice to some of the squigglies, but I also have these beautiful jet black beads. So I have some of these beautiful jet black beads that I don't know how to describe them, but they like have so many different sides that they catch the light. And I'd have to count how many I have and count how many. There's like a specific design on this trim that I would love to place those beads on that I think would like be a really good anchor and beautiful just point point, but that might be very time consuming as well. Alternatively, I can do all the rhinestones and then do the beads later and decide like, okay, where are we at? So that's where my brain is at. But today is just a rhinestone embellishment day. By the end of today, I will have this skirt finished, which is great. We're in a really good place. I have D&D tonight at 6:30, which means that from like 5:30 to 6:30, I'll be like eating dinner. And then I might rhinestone or bead, depending on where I'm at during D&D. That's the plan. Lots of rhinestoning. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so the first phase of rhinestones are going to be these black rhinestones on my trim, which I'll pull up in a second, but I really wanted to we're gonna fill a syringe. So this is like a crafting syringe, and basically what you do is you pop that part out. This is Gem Tack. This is my go-to glue. For those of you that don't know, E6000 is highly toxic, and therefore just using it even on a few rhinestones in a bedroom like this, even with the door open, is extremely bad for you. So I don't recommend using E6000 at all. I recommend this. It goes a lot further and it's also just not toxic. Make sure before you fill the glue that you put your little needle on it. These are not like, they don't poke you or anything. They're just craft. Okay, so while that is slowly dripping down, I will show you this cool tool. So this is a like wax pen thing that you can use, if you see here, to pick up rhinestones and place them like so. So I can go like that and then place it on the glue. This was not very expensive at all. You can also use tweezers. I hate tweezers, but they're an option. This tool here also comes with a second one. So there's like lots of options for this. If you don't want to buy one of these, you can also buy a crayon or just use a crayon, especially if you have like a lot of crafts and stuff at home like I do. And then these are just rhinestones off of eBay. So hi friends, it is the next day. I spent most of the morning rhinestoning this, and I spent all yesterday rhinestoning this. A job that I thought would take me an afternoon took like 12 hours. So welcome to my life. This happens every video, I know. Now I'm moving on to the veil, and I don't know why I didn't realize this before, that the veil needs to also be distressed and tattered. So I'm a little upset at myself for thinking, oh, I could just whip a veil up in 2 hours. Yes, a regular veil. I totally can just like 2 hours, done. This veil, not so much. So I have this beautiful big trim here that I really want to use for this veil. I'm going to use it. Basically, this is what my thought process was, is that I'm going to quickly drape a veil that will go pretty far down the skirt, because if I made this dramatic of a skirt, I want my veil to be that dramatic. It's gonna get gathered onto this headband right here, from like maybe here to here, gathered. And then we'll have it kind of have a curve, and I will sew this onto my chiffon. Yes, chiffon, not tulle. I don't know why. I think it's because I had like all this chiffon left over from my classes, and I was like, let's just use it. Chiffon, sew this on, and then we will paint and weather it. I will also pick some of these flowers to put onto the head, the crown piece. I definitely want to use these grays and blacks and blues, obviously, like mix them together. I really like that this one has smaller flowers, like that make up the big flower. So we might like dissect these a lot and just put them inside some of these, mix and match and do stuff. So we're gonna just jump right into this. These are gonna be the main source of the bouquet, again with a little bit of this. It's like 1:30, so at 6 I have to call it a hard stop. I was really hoping we would finish today. Clearly not gonna happen. Let's just get going. Okay, so I basically pleated this down and I folded these in so that they would like lay interesting. So I pleated this all down and now I'm going to hot glue it to my headband. I was going to stitch it and I tried stitching in it and it's just so, this is so tight and hard. I don't know that I'd get a good stitch, so we're just gonna go with hot glue. So I'm gonna hot glue this down and then I'm going to add some of the flowers and the veil will be done. Oh my gosh, look at this veil. Look at it. Look at it. It's so pretty. I'll come closer so you can see the little flower crown and then the little, look at how that drapes. That's really pretty. Yee! Yee! Okay, so the last thing that needs to get done, because here's my bouquet. This is finished. My gloves we already talked about earlier. I'm still wearing my veil because obviously I want to still wear it. So I got these all glued to their little fabric base, and the last thing that needs to get done is I have to put the glove on and then hand stitch each one of these down to the glove. If I can get footage of that, I will. I don't know how I will be able to do that, but I'll do the best that I can. But then once these are hand stitched onto that, this will lay funky for the rest of its life because like obvious reasons. But once that is there, we're done. Oh, and for the bouquet, I just pulled a couple pieces that I liked and then I added duct tape at the bottom. I might wrap it in silk ribbon if I can find white silk ribbon. Maybe not silk, but like a white satin ribbon. But I also might just leave it open. Who knows? If I go to Joann's in the next week, I will do it. But that's it. We're done. We are done. We are done. I am wearing this beautiful veil because it's so pretty. But yeah, so we're done. I will do a switch to like a fun little cute reveal that won't be the full costume because we're saving that for the big video, but I'll still show like the pieces finished on and whatnot. But that's it. I don't know why I'm holding this camera like this. This is not the most efficient way to film, but you know, whatever. She is such a creep. She's just sitting there. Ouch. I'm just kidding. Okay, we're done.